Hey, and welcome to my channel, No Bullshit with Joe. And today, I want to talk to you guys about some weird shit that people say on the internet. Now, I do have a podcasting channel, obviously, a podcast on podcast. So it's on the podcasting app, Podbean. No, it's not. What's the other one called? Reason. It's on the podcasting app, Reason. And it is also on the one that Joe Rogan uses. I've forgotten the freaking name of it. No Bullshit with Joe. If you search it up, I've already podcasted a load of shit on there already. But I've decided to come over to YouTube and to give YouTube another go. And to see if you guys are going to watch my content and enjoy my content. Because sometimes seeing people's facial expressions is just as exciting as listening to them on the internet. So, today I want to talk to you guys about weird shit that people say on the internet and give you some context and thoughts myself. So here we go. So, some of these places are taken from Twitter, Quora, where's the other place? Twitter, Quora, and Reddit. Let's have a look. So, this was a question that was asked on Twitter, and this guy was responded. So, basically, someone asked, how many unvaccinated people do you know? And the response was, not from me, this is from some random guy on the internet, anyone that I have anyone that I know that is unvaccinated, I have cut off, and I am proud to say 0. Wow, what a judgmental arsehole. If you know people and you've cut them off because they're not vaccinated against a thing that I daren't say because my video will get monetized and taken down, demonetized and taken down and all that shit. If you're cutting off unvaccinated people because of a medical decision they've made, then you really are an arsehole. That's my opinion on the situation. Number 2, this one's from Reddit. Why are people placid? Soaring costs would have caused civil unrest, and people are meekly accepting all that is being thrown at them. I've got a pretty good reason as to why I think people are being more placid and more chilled out. They've had that much shit thrown at them over the last 3 years. It's like Jordan Peterson says, doesn't it? Right, you got a boundary, okay? So what'll happen is, and this is how people get people to push the boundaries back. What'll happen is, your boundary's here, and someone comes up to your boundary, and you start protesting. So what does the person do? The person stops. Wait till you stop protesting. And then what happens is they then continue to do what they were doing, and you step your boundary back a bit. And then you step your boundary back a bit more. And then you step your boundary back a bit more. And that's basically what has happened for people over the last 2 to 3 years. They've been told to wear masks. They've been told they can't go to see the families. They've been told they can't go into places. They've been told they have to have this injection. They've been told they can't go outside. They've been told they can't meet people in the garden. And people have accepted it and accepted it and accepted it and accepted it and accepted it. And their boundaries have got further and further and further and further and further back. So now they're like, hey, there's World War III. And there's soaring rise of fuel bills and stuff, and people are like, fuck it. So that's my thoughts on that situation is, yeah, you push someone's boundary back far enough, you go up to the boundary till they start protesting, and you stop. And then you wait till they stop protesting, and then you continue to push that boundary. That's how it works, basically psychology. And that's what the government has done all over the world to most of the people. They've turned people against each other. They've turned family members against each other. They've turned internet people against each other. It's not great. Okay. So this was a comment that I saw which made me laugh. So I do jiu-jitsu, or did do Gracie jiu-jitsu. I might pick it up again with my leg heels. I do karate, I do Wing Chun, and some other types of Kung Fu, which I thoroughly enjoy. And I saw this post from a Twitter user who obviously doesn't do martial arts. Physically, it would be highly unlikely that even a female MMA fighter, physically it would be highly unlikely even those MMA fighter women, as they would get knocked out by an average guy who knows how to fight. Completely wrong. Now, imagine when I train, I say imagine, but yeah, where I train, I have got my arse kicked, and I'm not too ashamed to say, by some of the phenomenal women who train. And I can safely say that comment from Twitter is completely and utterly wrong. You step into a ring with someone who does jiu-jitsu, male or female, but you step into a ring with a female who does jiu-jitsu, karate, kung fu, whatever, and she knows what she's doing, she's going to kick the shit out of you. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or not. If she knows what she's doing, you're absolutely buggered. Simple. So yeah, that was a funny concept of someone who doesn't know martial arts or doesn't do martial arts, by the sounds of it. This is what I love about the internet. I absolutely love the internet because it's so weird. It's so phenomenally strange, isn't it? And people just spew out their opinions thinking there's no concept. Okay. So, this one's from Reddit. What has money made you realise? This one's an interesting one. What has money made me realise? Money's made me realise that... what's money made me realise? Money's made me realise that you can't value your whole life around money. Like, it's pieces of paper or numbers on a screen. You need it to survive, to pay a bit of food or put a bit of money in the bank or whatever, but it's not the be-all and end-all. As long as you've got a bit coming in to be able to pay some bills. That's what money's made me realise. Time with my family, time with my friends, time with my kids. That's more important to me. Hence the reason I'm doing this shit. So that I can create a second income or a third income that in a couple of 3 years down the line, hopefully, will be able to subsidise what I'm doing work-wise so I can spend more time with my kids and my missus. So money's made me realise that time is valuable, a lot more valuable than what money is. What are your thoughts? Comment section down below. This is hilarious. This is written by a faceless user off Twitter. I've actually put Twitter faceless user, so this is meant, right? So, someone is talking here about how to treat women. And this is phenomenal. The secret is to treat her like a child. I'm not saying this is someone off Twitter, right? You always dominate a child. You never feel nervous around a child, and you always have fun with a child. You will always have solutions in the presence of a child. A child always looks up to you, and women are children. Wow! Okay then, again, it says it all. This person is a faceless user. My man or woman, stand by your convictions. If you're gonna say something, use your face. Put it on video. Be there. Accept the consequences of what's going your way. Wow. So the secret is to treat it like a child. You always dominate a child. No, you don't dominate a child. I've got 2 children. I don't dominate my children. I guide them in the right direction. But the difference between a child and a woman is that a woman is a fully grown adult who has the full mental capacity to make their own decisions in a safe manner. And it's not my place to dominate my wife, unless she's into that shit. Wow, you never feel nervous around a child. If you so he's obviously talking to someone who's going like on a first date or something like that. At the end of the day, it's phenomenal. That's what it is. You always have fun with a child. You always have solutions in the presence of a child. They don't. If you are in the presence of a child and they're asking you a question that you do not understand, there is nothing wrong with saying to that child, I do not understand the answer to your question. There's nothing wrong with saying to your wife or to a girl, I do not understand the answer to your question, or I do not know the answer to your question. Shall we find out together? Shall we learn together? Shall we grow together? You know, a lot of parents, I think, and I'm going off on a tangent here, but I think a lot of parents think that they have to know all the answers. They don't. I don't know all the answers. My kids ask me stuff and I'm like, I don't know. Shall we have a look on Google? I don't know. Shall we try and find out? I don't know. Shall we ask Uncle Lee? I don't know. Shall we ask Uncle Jim? I don't know. Shall we ask someone else who might know the answer? By doing that as a parent, that shows your child that A, it's okay to not know something, and B, it's okay to not know something, and C, it's okay to ask someone who might know the answer, and there's no shame in it. And it's also okay that you as an adult don't know the answer. I remember growing up as a kid, like, I had to, my adoptive dad, he always pretended like he knew the answer to everything. One of the things I remember him saying to me is, if you don't know the answer, say I'll find out. There's no need to say I'll find out. Just say I don't fucking know. Shall we find out together? Shall we have a look together? Shall we invest in it together? Yeah. Anyway, sent me off on a tangent there. But yeah, you always have solutions to the events of a child. No, you don't. That's completely wrong. A child always looks up to you. A child will only look up to you if you give that child respect. You can't expect. I'm sorry, we're not in 1900s, 1800s where, you know, children were seen and not heard. You know, you've got to give that child respect to earn respect back. You can't expect respect off a child if you're going to treat it like shit. You know. So, yeah. I love how some of these men are putting this shit on Twitter and are being faceless. That speaks 1,000 words. It really does. So this is a meme I found on Twitter as well. In 1937, a British man sued a woman who, don't know whether it's true or not, but it's just a meme. Sued a woman who bit off half his nose when he tried to kiss her without her consent. The judge ruled against him, stating that when a man kisses a woman against her will, she's entitled to bite his nose off if she so pleases. I can't disagree with that. That's like practically fucking forcing yourself on someone. You know, it's self-defense. How can you disagree with that? It's self-defense. Okay, and we've got one more. Some of the weird shit people say on the internet. This is a wonderful post. The final sentences say it all. So this was off Twitter as well. No, it wasn't. This was off Reddit. Please take note, you young women. If he has to be your boyfriend and you reject him, your risk of losing him is many completely decent lads get overlooked. So if a young man comes into your life, then you need to that you truly value as a friend, then you need to give them a chance. Because is it any wonder that girls get what they deserve? Look, at the end of the day, if someone's friends with you, I worked in the care sector for 6 years. I know that didn't make a lot of sense there because obviously I couldn't read that very well. But anyway, basically what the concept of that writing was, this bloke was basically saying, if a man asks a woman out and she says no, you're going to lose that person and you're going to get what you deserve by rejecting all these nice men. No. At the end of the day, I have many friends, male, female. I worked in the care sector for a good long period of time, so I made many female friends. And I don't expect any of my male or female friends to sleep with me, and nor do I want to sleep with my male or female friends because that's exactly what they are. They are friends. If you are attracted to someone and you're making a move on them and they say no, that's a boundary that needs to be respected. If they've said no and it's a no and it's full stop, end of conversation, it's full stop, end of conversation. They've said no. I think a lot of problems nowadays, people don't respect boundaries. And people also don't know how to put boundaries in place. You know, a lot of people, a girl I know, I worked with her for 6 years, and a guy asked her for her number, and she gave him her number. She didn't want to go on a date with him. She didn't want to necessarily be friends with him, but she felt bad, so she gave him a number. And he texted her and she'd reply, and he texted her and she'd reply, and he texted her and she'd reply. She didn't lead him on. She didn't say she was just being friendly, but he wanted more. And she eventually had to say, you know, we're not having any more. We're not going any further. Whereas in the first place, if she'd put the boundary in place and said, I don't want to give you my number, but thank you very much for asking. That's it. Done. Boundaries. There are something, again, obviously clear to see from the internet. People don't respect other people's boundaries. People think that it is okay to try and force somebody to kiss them. People think that it is okay to try and force somebody to sleep with them or whatever. Yeah, wow. Anyway, so that's some weird shit that people say on the internet. Hope you enjoyed my podcast. Hope you enjoyed the podcasting video. And subscribe for more. I am off ill for the next, well, I think until the end of this month. So it'll be about the 30th because I'm starting to be able to weight bear on my broken leg now, which isn't so broken. It's just still a little bit tender. So I'm starting to weight bear on it a little bit. So hopefully by the 30th of April, I'll be back to work and I'll be uploading once a week to this channel instead of every single day. But if you are here, hit like, subscribe, let me know what you think. And if there's any weird shit in the internet that you find, please send it my way so that I can use it as context in my podcast. Over and out. Thank you for watching.